Physical books are the cure to the modern world. So today, bro, I woke up early. I meditated, I journaled, I did my boxing, did my yoga in the morning, and I read for 3 hours on the ebook, right? I finished all of that at like 2 p.m. or 2 to 3 p.m., right? And then when I finished, I felt like, of course, like very fulfilled, like very, very fulfilled. You know that high you get when you finish all your self-improvement habits, right? You get this like marijuana, methamphetamine high, right? Like that's nothing's like, right? And I did all of that fasted as well, so I'm having like breakfast, like late breakfast, right? I always do this because like I feel like it's better for my health and for my focus, right? So I'm eating like chicken and rice and my usual breakfast. I know it's kind of weird to eat chicken and rice in the morning, but anyways, I was watching this documentary on Larry Page and Sergey Brin, basically the founders of Google, right? And it was a fascinating documentary. But I was watching it, and it was the first time I watched the documentary in a long time, right? In like a year, right? So in a very long time. And I felt this, like, documentaries have like these snapshots and, bro, like they have these, shots keep hitting you and you have like this scene and then this scene and this scene. And you have people on their phones, right? And it's showing like all the evolution of Google, right? And I was watching it and I just had like this very big headache inside of me. Like I had this like huge headache, like all this brain fog, right? Even though I finished everything, like I meditated, journaled, I uploaded even like the long form and the short form video on this channel. I did everything, but I had this insane brain fog from this documentary that I was watching. So what happened was I was just feeling like so sad. Honestly, I was feeling a bit depressed because of how stimulating it was, right? I felt like this little dopamine crash, right? It wasn't anything serious or anything, but I just felt it. But then I saw this book, right? Crime and Punishment by Dostoevsky, which is unparalleled in its psychological depth, by the way. Like I've heard like so many things about this book, like it's so deep psychologically, right? And I really wanted to read it. My brother gave me this book. So what I did is I closed the documentary at like 25 minutes. The whole documentary is like 45 minutes. And I opened this book. And I just started reading like the first 1 to 2 pages of it. And I just felt like this calmness and this like peace. And I just felt so peaceful and relaxed. I felt like my parasympathetic nervous system, like the rest and digest nervous system activating. And like I just realized like the cure to the modern world is books. It's these physical books, like books like Crime and Punishment, Atomic Habits, Attached, right? The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho, which is an amazing story, right? Like these physical books, bro, I'm telling you, there's a magic to that. Because really, like this is what I learned even from the documentary, like technology progressed so exponentially fast that our evolutionary hardwiring that took hundreds of thousands of years had not adapted to it. We are not adapted to these phones and this internet and social media and video games. Our biology is not adapted to it. And you look at all the studies, like there is a direct correlation between excessive social media use and depression and anxiety. It's a direct correlation. And I'm telling you, bro, the cure to that is books. It's physical books. This is the thing. Like it has to be a book that you're holding, even if you're gonna read it like very slow, even if one page is gonna take like 10 minutes. But the benefits you get from reading, bro, are just out of this world, man. Like I'm telling you, like I love when I see these movements, right, by like Gen Z, right, like boys and girls, making reading like the new Facebook, like making reading like the new cool. Like reading books and deleting social media and going out in nature is not like the new cool, right? It's the new like Nintendo DS. I don't know, like the trends they used to have in 2000s. But yeah, it's the new. It's what the cool kids are doing today. It's what the cool guys and girls are doing today. If someone meditates and journals and reads, right, and reads like these physical books, bro, I'm telling you, like physical books are so incredibly beneficial for our mental health. And I'm not like bashing out ebooks. I think ebooks are amazing, right? Because, you know, and I use ebooks most of the time. I'm not gonna lie. For like self-help books, I use ebooks, but I read ebooks because like you can bookmark them very easily. You know, you can speed read them. You can have it like read it out to you out loud, like text to speech. That's like in Kindle and in Read Era as well. So I most of the books I read as ebooks. But if I'm reading something like I read all these books, by the way, but all the books about, like, you know, the books by Carl Jung and Freud, and the books about biology, psychology, like these deep books, I read them as ebooks, honestly, because they're like very, very long. So I kind of speed read them, but I bookmark like the most important pages and highlight them. But if I'm reading like a story like Crime and Punishment or The Alchemist, I have to buy it as a physical book. That's what I do personally, and I think that's the best for me. Like, physical books, man, they just have a magic to them, honestly. They're just amazing. Like, they are so beneficial for our brains. Like I said, like, first of all, you absolutely destroy everyone because most people don't even read. Like, so few people actually do read. So few people actually can finish a book today. That's why it's becoming this new cool. Like, you're having like men reading like self-help books and Atomic Habits and, you know, like Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins, right? And you have like these girls who are reading like novels by Dostoevsky and Jane Austen, and it's awesome. I love it, and I love this movement, and I wish that I can just broaden this movement to everyone out there, that physical books are amazing. Physical books, like have you ever, bro, like tried, honestly, like have you ever tried to just sit in a calm place, in a place surrounded by nature, and just read a physical book? That's I promise you, if you do that, it will be the best part of your day, man. You're like, that day when you go to sleep, you're gonna remember, oh, that time when I was reading a book in the garden, bro, that was so, I just felt this peace and calmness, something I can't even explain it, man, because of how beneficial it is. So yeah, like I'm telling you, physical books are the cure to the modern world, to social media and video games. Like they literally reverse what social media does to our brains. Like, social media destroys our brains, let's be honest. They destroy our attention span. They make us compare ourselves to everyone, right? They bash our mental health. They make us depressed. They make us anxious, right? They destroy us. Like, bro, the average person has an attention span that's less than a goldfish. That's less than, what does a goldfish have? Like 6 seconds? Less than 6 seconds. That's how terrible social media has destroyed us, right? And I'm not blaming like $1 trillion companies or whatever. I know like they're doing it to connect everyone, right? But really, it's a double-edged sword. Like, we can use it negatively or positively, right? But reading, what it does is, like, if you read like a book a week, right, consistently, like a physical book a week, like, you will literally have like a top 1% attention span, bro. I'm telling you. And that's why people who read, like 80% of the most successful people in the world read books. 80%. And the thing is, like, if you look at the 20%, like, most of them just inherited their wealth. We're talking about millionaires and billionaires here, right? 80% of billionaires and millionaires read books. Because wisdom is in books, knowledge is in books. So yeah, I'm telling you, first of all, you destroy everyone. Second of all, it gives you a top 1% attention span. And third of all, it improves your mental health in a way that nothing can. It makes you peaceful and relaxed and calm. So that's the third benefit, is like, when you meet someone, right, you can just be present, you can just exist and focus on their words, right, bro? And it's an amazing feeling to do. Like, researchers, what they have found, like Arthur Brooks talks about this, who's like the happiness expert, who has a PhD in happiness. He says the moment we are the happiest in life is when we are present. is when we are focused on right now, is when you are focused on what I'm saying. You're just focused on this video. You're not focused on the past. You're not focused on the future. You're not focused on, oh, what's gonna happen in the future? What am I gonna do in the future? Or something cringe that you did in the past that no one even remembers anyways. You're just focused on the present. It's the power of now, bro. So yeah, that's amazing. And the fourth thing is you become smarter than literally everyone. Like Charlie Morgan said this to me, who's my mentor. He's basically this entrepreneur who's worth $40 million, and he basically drew this graph like years on the side, and then like the amount of books he read, and he read 400 books in 8 years. And he told me, if you can read 400 books, you become smarter than 99.9999999% of people. Because, like, think about it, like most people have barely even read a book. Like most people, they just read *Sapiens*, right? or 12 Rules of Life by Jordan Peterson. But if you read 400 books, you have 400 books of 400 people's individual experience, right? And it's absolutely brilliant. Now, how do we actually start reading? How do we fall in love with reading? And it all comes down to this quote by Naval Ravikant, which is my favorite quote on reading, which is, read what you love until you love to read. That's all it comes down to, bro. So the beautiful thing about reading is you can literally read about what you love the most. Like there's books on everything. Like if you're just so interested in, I know like me and you were horny young men, bro. Like we're interested in girls, let's be honest. If you're interested like in girls, like me, honestly, because I've read all these books, like you can read about what girls want, what girls desire and obsess over, right? You can read A Billion Wicked Thoughts, which talks about like billions of men's searches, porn searches, pornography searches, and billions of women's pornography searches, and understand that women's pornography is romance novels and men's pornography is like visual, videos, right? And it's honestly the best book on male and female desire I've ever read. It talks about, like, it explains male and female desire through billions of searches. It's a really great book. Or you could read The Evolution of Desire, which talks about the evolution of what men and women desire, right? And it explains why men desire like looks, like beautiful women, like used to fertility, but women desire like status and resources and good genes, right? From an evolutionary perspective. Or if you're more advanced, you could read a book like The Evolutionary Biology of Human Female Sexuality, which actually talks about like female desire on a very deep level. It explains it through the menstrual cycle, through the month. Like there are just so many books on what women want. You can read Mate by Jeffrey Miller, right, which is an amazing book that explains why evolutionarily and biologically the men who improve themselves in every area of life literally get all the women. So yeah, that's like one example. Or you could read about money, you could read about mindset, you could read like stories, like you could read about habits, you could read about relationships. Maybe you want to read about how to have the best relationship with your future wife, like me, right? You could read about how to be the toughest man alive, like David Goggins, right? You could read about sleep. You could read about how to literally master social skills and be able to make anyone your friend. Like have so many friends, because this is literally what happened to me, that you can't even fathom, right? It's amazing. You can read about how to finally stop worrying for the rest of your life, right? You could read like the words of one of the most powerful human beings on the planet in history, Marcus Aurelius, the words in his journal, right? Like you could read about literally anything you want. That's the beautiful thing about reading. And the thing is, like, the more you read, like, if you get past a certain point, like 100 books, right? I found that's for me. If you read over 100 books, you just get to the point where you just love reading. You could read anything. Like right now, I honestly could read anything. That's why I'm reading like Carl Jung and Sigmund Freud, like things I would never even have imagined that I would be reading. But I'm reading about like the founding fathers of psychology and William James, right? And I've read like The Origin of Species, which talks about how we evolved. Natural selection, survival of the fittest, right? So yeah, like reading absolutely is the cure to the modern world. And it makes me so happy that we're actually having like this reading revolution, right? Like I have so much hope, especially in our generation, bro, in like Gen Z. Right? I have just so much hope in our generation and in young men of this generation that we will actually be the best versions of ourselves. So yeah, that's just a nice lesson that I just wanted to share with you. And as always, in this together, we will make.